I am going to go ahead and record it and then get started on here. Wait a minute. Why is my screen not letting me? I'm going to have to bring it down here. Okay.
My first chicken nuggets.
Your first chicken nuggets. Pam, you made the, or not made, but did the, what do you call it? The air fryer for the very first time.
So I made tater tots in the air fryer tonight. At the air fry for 25 minutes, they came out perfect. They're so good.
What was it?
Tater tots.
Ah.
Perfect. Like I've never made them that perfect before.
I'll try this tiny one.
I haven't made tater tots or chicken nuggets. We've gotten
good.
We don't eat them very often, but the French fries in the air fryer are really, really, really good. They come out so much.
Fryer, my favorite product.
This is gonna be my favorite too, because I used the recipe in the book that came with it for the chicken nuggets, and but I added some chili powder and some lemon juice. I put some lemon juice in the egg batter and added some chili powder in with the oil and seasonings. That's pretty good.
What does the lemon juice do? Just an extra zing? That's interesting.
Adds a little extra flavor.
Okay, so Lynn, Colleen, and Janine, we can all tell you next time, skip the chili powder and put some Old Bay in there.
Have Old Bay.
No.
I put Old Bay on everything.
I cannot stand Old Bay. Yuck.
Really?
You are not a true
Colleen.
Come on,
I honestly, I hate Maryland. I do not want to live in Maryland. I was raised in Maryland, but as I tell my husband, I was born in Huntsville, Alabama, so I'm a Southern Fried Yankee. So, and my formative years, I lived in Germany for 3 years, for first, second, and third grade. So,
What was that like? I've never been to Germany.
I loved it. I was there right after the wall fell.
Wow. Well, I've never lived anywhere
no
other than Maryland. Like this,
Me either.
I've never lived anywhere other than Anne Arundel County. So I've never gone very far, and neither has Butch. So we live on Old Bay.
I've been on all four sides.
Nobody in my older brother might like Old Bay, but nobody else in my family likes Old Bay.
What?
Yeah. Well, my mom's from Detroit, my dad's from Ohio, so you know. We know. I don't do seafood either. Like I don't do crabs or anything like that. No fish, no shrimp, no nothing. No.
Oh, Lord.
And Old Bay to me tastes like seafood, so that's why. Nope.
Catfish nuggets.
gosh.
That's gonna be my next thing to go in there. Catfish nuggets.
No.
My grandmother would have liked that.
Well, Colleen, let me just tell you one thing that we use Old Bay for.
What's that?
Other than crabs and seafood, I have used it in like seasoning for chicken, but
Yes,
we've also
always
used it on beef. When we take a whole beef, like a tenderloin or an eye round roast, we put olive oil on it and then smother it in Old Bay. Does not taste like seafood, but it gives it's just a really neat flavor.
I put Old Bay on my corn too.
Yes.
And it doesn't taste seafoody.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Every
And
time
my
I smell
eggs.
it, it just smells like fish to me. Like I just don't like it.
So let's get back to this. So I just wanted to ask you guys. So if you guys would be willing to share some of your successes and struggles over the past couple of weeks that we've been doing this. Anybody want to start?
I have a block party coming
At
up.
the party last week.
Oh, wait a minute. Lynn, was that you?
Yeah, I was supposed to have a party last week. Come to find out, I called her that morning, asked her how many she's got signed up. It was a Zoom one. She didn't invite anyone. She wanted the free gift I was giving away. I said, did you not see the stipulations? When you're serious, then we'll have a party. Let me know.
And she didn't even say, well, I'm willing to give it a try or reschedule?
I told her when she like, oh well, none of my friends want to. They're hit by money. I'm like, all right, but I can't personally there at the party.
But that's a good opportunity. Have any of you, the rest of you guys run into that where people were saying, well, all of my friends are laid off and nobody has money right now?
I've had a couple people, but they didn't book.
Colleen, did you see that?
I had a couple people like at first, but I haven't gotten that lately. Lately, I've just gotten, no, not right now, or just, no, I'm not into it kind of thing.
Well, Lynn, so I've had a couple people that said that to me. There was a woman that had hosted with me in the past, and she said she wanted, like, I posted something about the air fryer, and she said, oh my gosh, I want that so bad. Boom, I messaged her, I explained everything, and she said, well, I want it, but most of my friends are laid off right now. And I know.
This was, oh yeah, I'm at party, I'm inviting everybody. It was booked last week. The morning of, I'm asking her how many of friends were coming, and she's like, I said not anybody.
And did you ask her, like, okay, we can change the date, we can move it back? Yeah. And she just said, no, I'm not interested or whatever. She changed her mind.
Yeah, she just wanted the free gift.
Oh, well, yeah, then I would tell them no. But sometimes people do that and they get like discouraged. They get afraid, and they tell themselves, nobody's going to come. I don't have anybody, or my friends don't have the money to spend right now. And I have had that before. And that's when I explained to them, look, you have nothing to lose but by trying. And
exactly.
You know, and you know, encourage them. And the one lady that did that and said, most of my friends are laid off and don't have a lot of money right now. She had an $1,100 party. So
nice.
And it was basically just encouraging her to do what I tell her to do.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to post. And, you know, we would take it from there. And yeah. She messaged me. She was in shock because.
And unfortunately, this was a friend of mine. So we're upset.
Yeah. Well,
this is nice.
I would still reach out to her and just ask her. I mean, off the cuff, and just ask her. Because if it really was about just the free gift, or if she was just afraid, she didn't want to invite people or whatever, because you never know. She might be something might have come up and she really might have just kind of put it on the back burner and just said, no, I can't do that. I just, whatever. But it can't hurt to reach out to her again and reach out to her.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it next week because I had to get my jets because she is such a good friend and I didn't want to lose friendship over it.
Yep. You know, the best thing. Okay, so I'm going to say one thing about current situations and social media and politics. And don't worry, I'm not going to say anything bad. We were discussing, my family, we were discussing why problems are so bad right now. And we pretty much all agreed because of social media and like the news and stuff. So many people come on, or so many people just, they have diarrhea of the mouth, and they feel like it's okay because they're not confronting people. It's okay to say whatever they want because they're not going to get that backlash like one-on-one from people. So don't worry about that. It is, if you're upset, you're frustrated, it is good to take a step back.
And that's what I'm doing. And that's how my nature is.
Yeah.
I won't say anything angrily. So I take a step back, I gather myself, and then I confront it again.
Yeah. Yep. That's the best way to handle things.
Yep.
And sometimes when you're dealing, I mean, I'm sure we've all done this, but when you're dealing with Facebook or text and you're not physically talking to somebody or on the phone with them, sometimes when they post something or they message something, it comes across in a different way than they've intended.
So you knock it off.
I've done that. And people have done that to me, and I was like, oh my God, she's so mad at me. And then it's like, oh no, it's just, da 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 da. and you take it the wrong way because that's the way it sounds. So sometimes it's best just to, if you're confused or if she's a good friend of yours and you don't want to message back and forth, give it a couple days and call her. And, you know, you'll be able to handle things and talk in a different way. So how about Colleen? Did you have any situations? Did you have any ups or downs?
I guess one of the ups was just this party that I have coming up. I've been hinting around at the consultant, you know, joining the team at that, and she has a little bit of an interest. So we've talked about it a little bit. So that's kind of exciting. And she's super excited about her party. She's, you know, she got her host packet and everything, and she's circling everything that she wants and all that kind of stuff. And she knows, you know, what we have to do to get it and everything like that. So I've just had good conversations with her. So that's been good.
That's fantastic. And you know what that shows? That shows great host coaching. If you're following up with her, you're checking to make sure she got her host packet, you're offering the business opportunity to her, you're talking to her, and you're getting her excited. Those are the things that are going to make either a great consultant or a great party outcome. So fantastic. How about you, Pam?
I have a block party coming Monday, and I have 5 people in it.
Woo!
One of them, I'm not real sure if it's going to go through or not for her because she's the one that had the knee surgery, and she's been in a lot of pain lately. So she's going to be kind of an iffy. I'm checking on her every day and seeing how she's doing, and because I might have to just do her separately later on. But she does want to have a party. Yeah.
Especially if she's on painkillers.
Right. So
that's when I signed up. After knee surgery.
well, at least you don't regret it.
I'll have to ask you about that one later, Janina. I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
No, we all want to know. We want to hear the story.
No, I was laid up in bed, and then Stacy kept asking me. I said, "Okay, what the heck? Why not?" I thought she was gonna fall over.
I think I'd fall over whenever my first one says, "Okay." I'm
Hey, it's still exciting. I will tell you, it is still so exciting when you get that email that says you have a new team member.
Yeah.
It is like, even now, I get so excited when somebody joins.
Yeah.
And it's just the excitement and that energy that it brings. It's an awesome feeling. And I guess when that doesn't excite you anymore, then it's time to call it quits or something. But
yeah, I mean, you're not having fun with it.
Did somebody call me?
Yeah, what size is the air fryer?
What size is it?
Big.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's my thought.
It's bigger than the average air fryer.
What size is the air fryer?
Yeah.
I guess you'd have to look on, I don't have anything in front of me, but if you look on, I don't know, if you find it. Yeah, it should be on the website on Use and Care. It'll be under the measurements and stuff like that on it. Because I don't have my stuff in front of me. But
shame on you. You're supposed to be prepared for everything.
I'm prepared for the call, not for that.
Hey,
one more question about the air fryer.
Okay.
When is it be available for people to buy instead of host?
I don't know. As of now, it's still in July, June and July. It's still host only.
Okay.
Yes.
I have somebody that wants one, so that's why I'm asking.
Then they need to host a party.
Yeah. That's when you tell them it's best for them if they host a party.
It's my one sister.
Oh.
That's what I'm going to tell her. But she asked what size it was.
So, all right. So let's see about Deborah and
Mary.
So do you guys have anything to share?
Well, I'm super excited because I have 3 parties next week.
Awesome.
One of the girls I was talking to, I gave her, I think I gave her the 21st and the 28th. And she said she couldn't do the 21st is Father's Day. Well, yeah. 28th, she had a birthday party, and I said, well, so I backed up and I gave her June 14th and then the first 2 weekends in July, and she took Monday, which gave me my third one for the week.
Well, let me
Just
ask you a
boom,
question.
boom.
Let me ask you a question. So if you had the 14th available, why did you offer her the last 2 weekends or the last two?
Well, I'm trying not to overload myself because I'm still working. Not
Okay.
like Mary. Mary doesn't work, and she's doing 4 parties a week right now.
Okay.
I'm still working almost full time, so
Notice she said right now, I bet you Mary will start doing 6 or 8.
Why don't you just do 3-day parties?
huh?
Why don't you do 3-day parties instead of a whole week?
I hadn't thought about that. But
That's an
now,
option.
the party I had last week, my sister-in-law, I had to extend it trying to help her hit the 200. And she waited until that last minute to really get involved and try to help get orders in.
Mhm.
But at that point, nobody was interested.
Mhm.
But we did get a booking off of her.
Well, that happens.
Good.
That happens. You know, sometimes some people, you know, like Lynn was talking about, sometimes the hosts don't do what you tell them. Sometimes they, whatever, they're on their own clock. But so I was just wondering, you were already full for then. You were trying to get it for the next, okay.
Yes.
Because, you know, that's the biggest thing is when you're offering your first 2 available dates, and you did that, but she couldn't do it, so you thought, okay, I'll squeeze them in.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Because I don't want to overload myself and neglect somebody's party with my own personal post that I'm doing. I've got the plan post
Template.
my party that's going to do the regular post, but I don't want to neglect the in between, you know, and taking care of their guest and them, my host. So I try not to book too many at once. Plus, I want to fill up the rest of the month to keep the money coming, you know, just kind of spread it a little bit. But
Right. Well, let me give you let me just give you one piece of advice that I've learned. I'm sure Janine knows this as well. It's not much more work to do 3 or 4 or 5 parties at one time than it is to do like 1 party at a time. So if you're looking at it, it is better if you do those parties up front. Like if you do 3 or 4 parties this week, instead of spreading them out, because it gives you more time. So during those parties, you have the opportunity to book parties for the next week or the following week. So you still have opportunities. And that was one of the things that we talked about on one of the calls, was front loading your month. So if you schedule, you know, book your parties book up your first week, then your second week, and then go on to your 4th week, and then come back for your 3rd week. Does anybody remember that when I was talking about that?
was that last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, because so your first week and your second week, that front loads your month. Then you move on to the 4th week, which will help end the month, or you can carry them over to start your next month. And then you fill in that 3rd week, which most of the time you've got bookings from those first 2 weeks in there. So it actually balances itself out. And so I wanted to move on and quickly talk about that, because wait, raise your hand. I know Colleen and Pam and Lynn are all registered for conference.
Yes.
We are.
Okay, so I'm going to give you just a brief summary of something that I'm going to be sharing on one of our calls, or I think our executive call, that we're going to be like all of us. I don't know about you. I just invited you guys today to, or at least the 3 of the ones on my team. I invited you guys to an event that I created for, I think it's the 7th of the month. Janine, did you set that up yet?
The 7th and the 8th.
The 7th and the 8th, right?
Yeah. I don't know
So-
nothing about the 9th though.
Huh?
I saw your question about the 9th. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I can't remember whether it's the 7th or the 8th, but when we get to talking about things, okay, it's very easy in this business to compare yourself to others. We're only human. It happens. And you don't realize how much it hurts your business when you do that. And so I'm going to be sharing something that I learned. Last year at National Conference, I went in with an absolutely negative mindset. I was in a bad place. I had had a year of, bless you, a year of down. Like my sales weren't up, my recruiting wasn't up. I did earn, Stacy pointed that out when I said I've had the worst year ever. Well, I still earned my trip. I still, I was paid at title every single month. But I was looking at what a lot of these new directors were coming into this business and what they were selling and what they were earning and all of that stuff. And I didn't realize how much it had been affecting me. I was, without realizing it, I was jealous and I was comparing myself to others. So, and I was extremely annoyed with one particular, now national executive director.
Who could that be?
Who could that possibly be? And that national executive director was the one that gave us the tip on booking week 1, week 2, week 4, and then week 3. So I have no problem saying it. That was Steve Japolsky. And being with him in person, and he was very proud of himself. He was having such good success, and some of the other people were too. So he was just booming. And every time I looked at him, I resented it. And I was like, I don't want to do any of that training. I realized at National Conference last year that all of the problems that I was having in my business was not because of him or because of anybody else. It was all because of me. And I wasn't asking enough people. It wasn't that nobody would book with me. I just wasn't asking enough people. I lost out on several recruits. And you know how hard it was for me when I'm looking in there, actually at Stacy's house, and one of her new recruits walks in, and it's somebody I had been to church with for 20 years, and I knew this woman very, very well. And I was like annoyed that she signed up with Stacy instead of me. Casey Burke had 2 people that I knew that were customers of mine signed up with Casey instead of me. And it was all at the same time when all this resentment and all this negativity was going through. And I looked at myself at conference and I said, you know what? I can't blame them. I never asked them to join. So the only person I had to blame was myself. So I can look back at it, and I actually talked to one of them was Terry DeGraw. Terry, and she is now a director, and we had this long conversation and we joked about it. And I said, you know what? I asked her to host. She was going to host, and then she canceled on me, and I never followed up with her. So now she's a director in the organization, and I have to look back and say, I guess I should have followed up with her. I guess I should have asked her to join my team. So when you're looking at yourself, it is very easy to compare yourself and to assume things, to think I'm asking everybody to host, I'm asking everybody to join, and in reality, you're probably not. I mean, you might think you are, but you're probably not. So that was one of the things that I just have to share. And quickly, it was a light bulb went off into a leadership training at conference. And Janine, I don't know if anybody else knows her, but Janine knows Cheryl Stotts. And Cheryl is a good friend of mine from Ohio. And we were sitting in this leadership class, and Steve walks in, and I didn't know he was teaching class. And he walks in, and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. I'm going to get out. I said, Cheryl, I got to leave. I can't sit here. I felt, and I said, all right, whatever. It's starting. I couldn't get up because everybody was going to look at me. So I sat there, and that I cried when I told Stacy this. It changed everything for me, because listening to him, I had a complete revelation in my head while he's talking about all this stuff. And that's when I realized everything was on me and not him. I went up after it was done, and this was before social distancing, and I went up and gave him a big hug. And I shocked him like crazy because, you know, I wasn't very fond of him. And that was halfway through conference. And that point changed everything for me. And the rest of conference, I had an open mind. I learned so much more. And so it was just a big thing that I wanted to share, because it is very easy in this business to compare yourself to others.
Yeah. I think that just kind of happened to me, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it does. And you kind of have to focus on your own business and not what everybody else is doing. Because remember, some people come in and have different goals. And some people don't. Like Deborah, you were talking about Mary is home, so she's able to do more parties. So we all have different goals. And so just remember, we all bloom at our own time. We're all like different, you know, crops in the garden, and we all just have our own focus and our own businesses. So just remember that.
I'm proud of her because she is staying on that 30. Sometimes she does more than 30 contacts a day.
Okay, so Mary, let me ask you, since you're continuing to do the 30 contacts, how is it paying off? Obviously, it's paying off well because you've got bookings, right?
I have 6 more for the month.
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
I have 6 more booked for this month, and I've got 1 booked for next month already.
Okay, awesome. So 6 total for this month, or 6 more?
6 more.
Okay, so how many have you already done?
4.
4. Okay, so that's 10 parties. That's awesome. So are you still, when you're reaching out to those contacts, are you still trying to book for June?
Yes.
Okay. That's perfect. How many parties was your goal?
4 a week.
4 a week. Awesome. So just keep reaching out until you've reached that goal, and don't stop until you've reached it. Wait, what was that?
Because I was a little slow on the uptake with making the 30 calls every day, or the 30 calls every day. She has been a good motivator for me. Motivator, I did say that wrong. I'm sorry.
Motivator.
Yes. And I told her yesterday, you know, she's getting these bookings in, and I said, that's awesome. I said, I am so excited. And I looked at her and told her, and I'm not jealous. And I truly can say that truthfully from my heart. I'm not jealous. I'm proud of her. And I'm excited for her, because she's really going to start, she's going to explode here pretty soon. I know it. I can see it coming.
So let me ask you, so Mary, with the parties that you've been doing, have you had any interest in the business? Have you been offering the business opportunity?
Yes, I offer, and I've got one that's going right now that she is actually thinking about it, she said, so.
Okay. Well, I know when we did the Look and Learn event, I'm not quite sure what happened there. We had a good amount of people that were invited, but nobody joined in. Like, there was nobody that commented on anything. So
Oh, wow.
I would like to schedule another Look and Learn event, and I can certainly share it in here. I have to look at the calendar and stuff, and Janine and I can pick that again. But a lot of the people that were invited, I would like to, since we can go ahead and keep the same group, we can just change some of the information out. But it's important, though, if we schedule one, it's very important for everybody to invite and follow up. Like, I don't know the people that you're inviting. So if
Right.
you invite 1 or 2 or 3 people, send them reminders. Invite them to it. Tell them you've invited them, and then send them a reminder, a text or whatever, to get them excited about the event. Because otherwise, you might invite them, and then if you don't reach out to them again, they might forget about it. And we all have stuff going on, so everybody needs a reminder. So I do want to do that, because the whole goal of this program was, that's why it's called Director Bound. It was about working towards directorship. So not only does that mean, building your personal business, but it also means adding new team members. And so let me just ask, I know nobody on my team did, but did Mary or you, Deborah, add any team members since we've been doing this?
No.
No. Okay. So
And I hate to
nobody.
say I missed that, but I had to work. I don't know my schedule too far out.
Okay.
We'll get our new schedule within the next day or two, which will be for the next 2 weeks out.
Okay. So,
And
well, don't worry about that. I mean, even if you can't join in, you can certainly invite them and remind them. And if they're engaged, like I was running the program, and thanks to Post My Party, I did have all of the posts scheduled. So I was able to look at the comments and be able to engage with people, but there was nobody that commented. So it was pretty, I mean, it was not pretty, it was extremely quiet. So next time it would be better if we could at least have some more excitement on your end, on all of your ends, to get the
I
people
wasn't
there.
in it. I wasn't in it that night just because it was Hannah's birthday party.
Right. Well, it could have been just bad timing, and then people forgot to go back and look. So that's why I think it's important to add another one. And in general, Janine, I think it's best if all of us as directors, if we have at least 1 a month, but 2 a month would be even better. Every 2 weeks, you're having an opportunity event, because you're always getting new hosts. You're always getting people that, or those rock star party guests that ask questions when you put that, ask a consultant question, and they're like, oh, what's your quota? How much do you have to have? Those are the people that you want to invite. And you say, hey, I think, you asked some great questions. I really think that I would love to be able to share more information with you about the business. My team is hosting a Look and Learn event next week. It's all online. It's no commitments necessary. I would love to send you an invite. Send them, and if they say sure, send them an invite. But don't leave it there. Just send them the invite and then remind them. Send them a message and say, hey, I'm so excited. I'd love to be able to answer any more questions that you have. I look forward to, for you to join the event tonight or tomorrow night. But the key is just that communication that you're opening up with those, with your hosts and with your customers. Those are the ones that are going to take you to that next step. So let me just ask you guys. So let me see. So I know that a lot of you guys, nobody recruited. So let me ask you, what do you guys need to focus on for the next week or 2? Is it sales, bookings, recruits, or all 3?
All three.
All 3? Okay. Okay. So I have a couple of tips for you. I don't know if you have a piece of paper, maybe you can write them down. But one of the tips for getting sales this week, whether it's in the parties or, you know, on your personal page or your VIP page or something. One, you could do something like Pamela is doing, and she's doing kind of like a mega party. It's called a block party, where you're having a couple of hosts book. I mean, it's basically one Facebook party, and you have a couple of different hosts. So if you have questions, Janine or I can explain that to you, but the key to doing that is you're creating excitement, and it's a much bigger party. You might have 120 to 140 guests, whereas in a regular one party, you might have 30 to 40 guests. So the more people that are in there, the more people that are going to ask questions, the more people that are going to make comments, engage. And say if you've got one host that's doing really, really good, she's engaged, she's invited a whole bunch, and you've got another host that did the bare minimum or didn't hardly do anything, and she's got 5 to 6 people in there. Well, you know, if that party was on its own, those 5 people probably would be too intimidated to even comment or post on anything because nobody else was doing anything. But if they're in a party where there's 100 people and there's 15, 20 people commenting and answering stuff, it might spark their interest and get them involved in the party. So that's one thing. Another idea is to offer a featured product of the week. So since we're coming into summertime, and did all of you guys see that sale flyer? You know, we're having the June sale flyer, where we've got like the ice cream maker and the outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
So those items are on sale. So you could do this in your parties. You can do it, like I said, your VIP pages, or even, you know, a little bit on your personal page. Okay. Post the flyer, and then once a week for the next few weeks, focus on one of those products that are on sale. And you could certainly, you know, take the air fryer, not the air fryer, the ice cream maker, and post a recipe, post some of the things about the ice cream maker, post a video. There's lots, all you have to do is look at marketing and imagery. And, you know, as long as you're not overloading everybody, but you're focusing just on one product each week, that will give people information about it, but it will help them like, oh, I never realized you could do that before. And kind of, you know, make them decide whether they want that or not. But if you're slowly putting it in there and you're soft selling things, you will have much more success than if you're, look at this sale, buy this, buy, you know, shoving it in people's faces. So soft selling is a great way to do it. And another thing that you can do is to host your own party.
Always.
Yes. You know, I usually host my own party once a month because people are always reaching out. They're always saying, oh my gosh, I love that product. I'd love to order it. Tell me when you have a party going on. It's like, I always have a party going on. So might as well get the benefits of myself. So that is when it's going to take me, I am like tongue-tied tonight. That's going to take us into the next part, which is bookings. Okay, so the other thing, like I just said, host your own virtual party. You're your own, you are your best booking that you can get. Okay, so look at your launch list again and go through. I guarantee that there's people on there that haven't responded, or you haven't asked because you've prejudged them and said, oh no, they wouldn't want to be able to do this. They don't have time. They don't need anything. They're too old, whatever. Go through and wipe all that stuff out and just ask them. And I mean, I know it sounds terrible, but pretend you're a robot if you have to. And just send a generic message out. We've shared some of the wording in there, but if you just copy and paste, sometimes that gets you over that fear than if you're trying to figure out new wording for each person. So
Somebody's truck.
huh?
Somebody asked me a question.
Oh, sorry.
So that's what I did with some of mine. I just took that message, I changed the name, or depending on who it was, I'd say, hey girl, or I'd say, hey, and their name. And then where it says, I thought about you, I would change it, or it would still say that, and I would add your warm personality or your fun-loving personality or something like that. And
Absolutely.
that was just a little something to make it specifically about them and not completely generic.
Right.
And I've actually got 3 people, or 4 that I will be checking back with in about 2 to 3 months, because there's 2 of them moving. Another one that's super busy over the summer with other things. Well, and then my cousin, he wanted me to check back after the summer was over because he's got a lot of things going on. And I'm excited about getting back with each of them because they were very positive. It's just this wasn't the time.
That certainly happens. So another thing is, I have 2 more suggestions for this. Okay. So one other thing is with the June host special. Yes, it's double rewards, but so I posted on my VIP page, and why in the world, when you're not supposed to be touching your face, why does it itch so bad? Oh, sorry. Oh, you go into a store and you got your mask on, and then you get fuzz in your eyes or your nose starts itching. I'm like, gosh, I can't do that. So, so some of the things that there's 4 separate sets that are available this month for hosts on top of the double free products. The cast iron set, the salad set, the cool and serve set, and then the pantry set, which is spices. So what I did in my VIP page, I created an image, and I basically put a picture of like all 4 of them. And I said, you know, which 2 sets would you pick? And all these people were commenting. So when they commented, then I sent them a private message, and I just said, hey, thanks, you know, so much. I saw that you commented on my post about the which items would you pick if you could. And you picked the cast iron skillet set and the salad set. Well, I'm excited to share. I'm not sure if you saw this or not, but our June hosts can earn 60% off of one of those sets, which means the cast iron skillet set would be only $57 compared to $144, and give them that full price and the discounted price, and say, you know, plus you could earn double free products if you hosted this month. It's super simple. It's all online. I do almost all of the work, and you know, you have nothing to lose but trying. What do you say?
How's those bookings coming?
I did book 1 from it.
Good.
Unfortunately, most of the people, or a couple of people, I had a couple of consultants respond, so I kind of had to ignore that. I had 3 people that just closed out their party with me last week. So when that happened, I sent them a message and I said, you know, and I explained at the beginning about it. I said, I know you're aware that June hosts can earn this. I said, but I said, let me just tell you, I know you just closed out your party. I said, if you get one of your friends to host a party, you could get some of these sets, you could get some of the discounts and your 50% off future party pick. So technically they're supposed to book that party before the party is closed. But Janine can vouch for this. There's still a glitch in the system. Huh?
You do what you got to do.
Yeah, you do what you got to do. So there's still a glitch in the system that allows you to do that. So
yes.
If you have a past host that comes in, only 1 past host per party can get the future party pick.
Right.
So if you've got 5 past hosts that show up, you can't give it to all of them. So just make sure you know that ahead of time. But it's a great way. Maybe when they were doing it, they didn't share it with all of their friends or ask all of their friends about hosting. But if they're kind of realizing it now, saying, oh, I forgot about that. I could get something at half price. Okay, well, my sister was thinking about it, but she never got back to me. So this is a great opportunity to say, contact your sister, see if she can do this. Or go back and look in the party and say, you know, your friend so-and-so commented on all of my posts, but when I reached out about hosting, she never answered me. You know, I think she would be a great person to ask. And sometimes if the host asks, maybe, you know, maybe they'll have second thoughts. I mean, you know, they'll think again and say, okay, I'll do it. So it's just a great way to, you know, a great other alternative. And like I was saying, to reach out to those Rockstar party guests in your past parties. And even if you offer an extra gift to book that party this week. So like Deborah, you offered her the 14th and she was able to do it. If you really wanted to book the 15th or the 22nd and they said, well, I can't, you could say, well, I am offering an additional, you know, gift when you host your party this week with me. Offer them, I mean, you add in a season's best. It's $2. It doesn't, wait a minute. It's not like you have to offer a big expensive product. Sometimes if they just think they're getting something for free, it definitely just boosts their, they're like, you know, free? Okay, sure, I'll do it for free. You know, some people are crazy about that.
I had a guest in my sister-in-law's party. She did the early bird special, but in her order, she had the season's best. And I told her that's normally what we give.
Uh-huh.
And also told her how close she was to getting the free gifts. So she took that off. And what she replaced it with was a higher priced item.
Yes.
So it worked out beautifully.
Yep. You know, that's the right way. That's the great way to do it. And always look at what they have in their cart and say, you know, I'm just letting you know, this goes really, really well with this product. You know, offer them if there's something you're $10 away from the free product. And this spatula or whatever is like $15. That would get you there. I mean, you don't always want to shoot for the minimum. You can certainly show them higher priced things, but it's always good to cross sell with products. So, and what was I going to say? I completely lost when so the last step of this is more about getting more comfortable. It sounds like the majority of you guys are booking parties, are getting the parties booked, whether you're, maybe you're not asking enough people, but you are getting the parties booked. One of the things that I want to share is if you haven't taken the recruiting courses in Dash, you really, really, really need to go in. Even if you have taken them, take them again, because you will learn something from that, and it will definitely help you move on to that next step. And let me see. The other thing, does it have in there about the fast track? It has in there about the fast track and the benefits in the fast track system, right? In Dash, because it talks about how the fast track success system, it has tasks for the recruiters. So when you recruit somebody, it's very easy to onboard new consultants. I know with my team, if any of you guys, not if, I'm sorry, it can't be negative. When you guys add new team members, I will do their training for you. But the more consultants that you have come on, I will slowly turn that over to you guys. And Janine, you're probably the same way.
Yes.
Yep. So, I guess that is basically it. You've got to, use the fast track system and use your trackers. So I have been keeping track of my parties. Oh, sorry, Colleen, that was yours. I have all of you guys clipped on here with your parties, but I started one for myself so that I could keep track and look at it and go, okay. Because,
that?
huh?
I was talking to there was something blowing over here because I'm outside. It's like, what was that? It's really windy over here.
Oh, yeah, I heard you, and I was like, I didn't really know quite what that was. I am trying to bring up my screen. Oh, here it is. I minimized my screen while I was looking at my notes, and then I couldn't figure out how to bring it back up. So, but using this Director Bound, the party tracker, is really, really good for you to be able to look at it and say, have I asked my host 5 times? Boom, boom, you can do that. And Mary, when you were, because if you're doing 4 parties a week, or even, Pam, you're doing 4 or 5 hosts for next week, I will tell you, it can get very confusing and hard to remember who you reached out to. Did I send my host packets? Who did I send my host packets to? Believe me, I am completely guilty of that. So what I started doing is I printed out that tracker. I have all of my parties listed, and I have notes in there. I have a check to the left side of it where it says the host's name. When I mail their host packet, I check that off. On the notes section, which is like the far right side, because I'm in direct ship, so I only do 1 prize per party, but I want to be able to know who won the prize, and then did I send their gift out. So I put their name in that section. I put a check next to it when I mail it out. If you guys probably aren't, nobody else is in direct ship, so you can add it to their order, which is much easier for you guys. You can be done with it. You don't have to worry about mailing it out. But me, direct ship, I can't add anything to their orders. I have to do it all after the fact. So it helps to keep me organized and to help keep me on track. Plus, there's a place for signed recruits. Was the host interested? Was anybody interested? And when you look at your there's a section in here where it says in person. Well, not worrying about that, but it says attendance, virtual number of people going. So if you keep track of that and you're looking down at your list, say you've got 8 parties, and all of your parties where it says the number of virtual people, like guests going, was really low, was under 40, then that's going to help you look at it and think, okay, what am I not doing with my host coaching? Because if all of your parties are low, then maybe you're not telling your hosts, you're not coaching your hosts the way that you're supposed to be coaching them. Does that make sense? Okay, that was something that I learned when I first became or was working towards becoming a director. I thought I was doing everything right, and my sales were really low at this one point, and all of my parties, my guests were really low, and I didn't realize it. I kept saying, well, I don't know. Why isn't anybody doing this? And Stacy turned it around and said, I don't know. Why do you think? She was like a psychiatrist, had you asking, making you realize yourself what you were doing wrong. And by this tracker, that was one of the things that made me realize, okay, well, did I ask my host? Oh, I forgot to ask my host. Or I forgot to ask this host. I forgot to ask that host. And when you're not getting anybody interested, you're not getting any leads, you're not getting any bookings, this is kind of a good guide to see how consistent you are with things. Consultant's Corner is great, but it's kind of hard to look at all of your parties and look at all of the stuff in your parties all at once. So in here, I have a board in my office, a big board, and I used to put all of that stuff in there. But a lot of times I don't know about you guys, if you work from the same place, like Mary and Deborah, you guys are in your living room. Colleen, you're in your dining room or your kitchen, and basement. I mean, I'm just saying that if you're like me, in the mornings, I like to work from my sofa, and I lay there, drink my coffee. I have my dog laying across my lap, and I'm not downstairs in my office. So I can take this little piece of paper with me, and I can keep my notes. Or, I'm sorry to be bragging, but if I'm sitting out at the pool, I can work from my phone, and I can take my little thing out of here and keep my notes on my paper. So I'm not losing track of who I spoke to and all of that stuff with my party. Much, much easier to do that.
I'm bad with that.
What?
I'm bad with that.
I had been really, really bad until I started doing this. And this was back in May when I started it because of this program. And I was like, darn it, this really worked well before. Why in the world wasn't I doing this? And so I have nobody to nobody to yell at but myself. But it's been a lifesaver. And like I said, with the keeping track of your contacts, if anybody's ever tried to diet before, when you keep track of what you eat, you realize a lot of things. So it's the same exact way. Keeping track of it is in your face and it's telling you something. So it's very important to do that.
And where'd you get it at?
What was that?
Where do you get it at?
I shared the file in the Director Bound group.
Okay.
So if you go to the group and you look in the files, it'll be in there. Yep. So does anybody have any questions? Because I know it's 9:02.
Say yes.
Who said yes? Say yes.
No, I told the dog to stay down.
Oh, I thought I heard somebody say yes.
Air fryer is 11.6 quarts.
11.6 quarts. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
So I hope that even though by this, it's been 4 weeks, I hope that none of you guys get discouraged or think anything bad about because you didn't hit director. It's just something that to keep working towards. And Janine, I think we should do another program that this gives people the opportunity to continue to keep building their schedules up, building their confidence up.
Yes, please do.
Yeah. Hey, I'm still working on my confidence 8 years in.
If anything is practice.
Yep. Practice makes perfect.
Consistency.
Yep.
Yeah.
So hopefully, so let me ask you, I'm going to set up the an opportunity or the look and learn. So I will invite all of you guys again.
Okay.
I just, like I said, I have to look at the look at my calendar, and but
I can just tell you that July 2nd I have knee surgery.
oh, okay.
You're gonna have a fun 4th of July.
She'll be on painkillers.
It'll be fun.
Woo, look at the
Let's
sparkly
see what
lights.
let's see what other DS I can sign up with.
Well, Janine, the good thing is that if you can't do it, I will be around. I really don't think that we're going anywhere. So, unfortunately, so I will look at it because I know with national conference coming up, I want to make sure that it doesn't, we're not picking it on one of those nights that will conflict with that.
I do have a question.
Okay.
You know how the consultant specials last May was, the rebate? What is it?
Uh-huh.
There isn't
one. It used to be every month, and now it's just like maybe every other month.
Oh, okay.
It seems
I
like.
just wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing it or anything because I hadn't been posting it. I've just been posting the other one, the other pictures. So I was like, I'm hoping I'm not,
Well, I
No,
mean,
you're not missing it.
they do get the $25 and $50 off from their party, their launch party.
Yes.
So, I mean, they do get that.
Oh, the kit credit, yes.
Yeah, the
Yes.
kit credit. Yeah.
Yep. So, and that's actually, Pam, that's not their launch party because they have to get that when they're a customer instead of they can't get it when they're a host. I mean, when they can't get it when they are a consultant. They have to get it before they join.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so there's different ways to doing that, and we'll have to wait and see what happens in July. This COVID-19 really threw a loop for everything, because this is our 40th anniversary year, and I'm sure that they had all sorts of plans in place, but things are completely out of whack right now. And the neat thing about conference is they announce all sorts of stuff. We'll get a chance to see the new products. And in the past, they have given special incentives, like if you were registered for conference, you earned this, or if you were registered for conference and you had new team members, and during a certain period of time, you earned extra points or extra things. So they usually do offer incentives and stuff for attendees, but I can't guarantee it, just because this is completely something brand new for everybody.
Well, I do know that, Deborah and Mary, they're the overflow. So
I am an overflow also.
Yeah, so you don't get any of the incentives.
Nope.
Right.
But they do get the trainings, and really the trainings are huge, because, I mean, it really inspires you and gives you that boot that you need, that reboot, and really makes you, excited about your business and what to do, what you've learned.
Yeah.
Yes, the incentives are nice, the freebies are nice, but it's that training that really is what you're there for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's the overflow?
It's
is
disappointing that we don't get it, but like you said, the training is gonna be there. I mean, we didn't pay that much for the overflow, so I totally
Pam, when they opened up the conference, they had so many slots available for live streaming it. And I guess it was because they were planning on so many people. They had so many incentives. They're mailing, you registered right away. So Colleen, I was the same way. So we're going to actually get a packet in the mail. We're going to get probably our little badge that says National Conference, which are like these things, if you can see it. We would wear these around our, and it was like advanced director. I was in the career club recruiting, career club sales, all of the different things. And it was kind of like your badge of honor that you got to wear walking around. But you also get free, they offer you get a free product from the fall, and you get a catalog. So you get like a sneak peek at things. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know what other giveaways or incentives that they're going to do. So usually I'd come home with products. I'd come home with neat things. So those
the
are
surprise
the
boxes.
Surprise
we can only do
boxes.
one surprise box this year.
Yeah.
Which is a different price too.
Yeah, because it's has to cover shipping, I guess.
Well, no, it's $40. Normally it's a $25 or $50 box. This box is $40.
Yeah.
So it cost me $53.
Plus what?
It cost me $53.
Okay.
Hey, did you do the dance?
No.
I didn't do the dance. Good. I don't feel bad.
No. I have a question.
Okay.
So I have one lady that's going to do her party Monday that I found out tonight. So I don't really have time to get her the packet.